Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being fooled, don't know if I'm being wise, but it's something that I must believe in, and it's there when I look in your eyes.
Hey folks, it's Rob from Rob's Movie Collection, and this week for the Genre Files we're doing foreign films. So my choice for foreign film is Strictly Ballroom from 1992. This is an Australian romantic comedy film, and it's directed and co-written by Baz Luhrmann. I suppose if you're Australian, this wouldn't be considered a foreign film, so I guess it all depends on where you're from. This was Luhrmann's debut film. It's the first film in his what's known as the Red Curtain trilogy. It was followed by Romeo and Juliet and then Moulin Rouge. Now, the thing about this movie is that it has, how do I describe it, a kind of a fantasy type of version of reality almost. All three of these films kind of have that, especially that's certainly true of Moulin Rouge. But it's kind of a heightened fantasy type of sense of reality where it's not exactly a all and out fantasy, but the way they do things is a little bit it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It stars Paul Mercurio as Scott Hastings, Tara Maurice as Fran, Pat Thompson as Shirley Hastings, Barry Otto as Doug Hastings, and Bill Hunter as Barry Fife, and many other people. Now, it tells the story of an Australian ballroom dancer played by Paul Mercurio, Scott Hastings. He comes from a family of ballroom dancers, and he's practicing to represent in the Pan Pacific Grand Prix Dancing Championships. But he wants to dance his personal style of dancing, his own moves, which are not considered to be ballroom or strictly ballroom by everyone else, especially the older people and the judges and all that. His parents are also ballroom dancers, and in their younger days they used to compete as well. And his mom Shirley, she teaches the ballroom dancing, and his father's kind of meek and quiet, and he kind of does janitorial stuff around the studio. And for most of the film, he's kind of like that. But in his kind of off hours when he's alone, he still dances, and he watches old footage of dancing, and he does little dances himself while he's alone, kind of alluding back to his younger days when he was a dancer. Now, because Scott has a reputation as being kind of wild and wanted to do his own thing, nobody wants to dance with him until he's approached by Fran, it's Tara Maurice, who's one of the beginner dancers at the studio. And, she's kind of frumpy and plain and clumsy, and, because she's a beginner. And she wants to dance with him, but of course he said, well, no, I'm going to dance with you. I'm a professional, and I've been training since I was a kid. But she wants to dance with him with his own moves. She likes his moves, and she's like the only one that does want to dance with him. So he agrees, and they start practicing in secret, and they dance, and they get to know each other, and of course they eventually begin to fall in love. And it's a romantic comedy. Strictly Ballroom came out at a time in the 90s where we were getting a lot of these films from Australia. We also got one called Muriel's Wedding, and then there was also The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. The Australian film market was doing very well then, and they were sending a lot of them over here. So and they were very good. This is a very funny film with a lot of great dancing and great music and just really, really good soundtrack. It's really a lot of fun to watch, and it's very glitzy and over the top, and that's what I was talking about earlier with the kind of heightened sense of reality. And it's just I can't say enough about how much fun it is. It follows that whole follow your dreams type storyline, and Also a little bit of the ugly duckling type situation within that whole love story. And it has something that a lot of films these days don't have. It has a positive approach to it, and this isn't a spoiler. I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler, but it has a happy ending, which is not a bad thing. I don't think that's really going to spoil the film for anybody who hasn't seen it, because there's so much more to it and how you get there and all. But yeah, that's the way we used to do it in the old days. Well, a lot of the times anyway. This one is definitely worth a watch, and I think you'll have a lot of fun watching it, and you'll really enjoy it. So that's about it for this one. It's kind of short this time, but I'm trying to get this out before the week's end. And check out Strictly Ballroom if you can, and if you like it, you might also want to check out some of the others like Priscilla and Muriel's Wedding. Okay, so that's all for now, and I will see you guys next time. Keep watching those foreign films.